All right, so I've had a lot of years experience of what's called channeling, and I never realized how many people do it, what kind of people do it, what the benefit of it is, and how serious it is. I understood that channeling was something, spiritual, but to me, it was something I had always done. And when I found out that people did it, it was more validation than anything. And it wasn't really like, for the first time I had found out, it was just more or less validation that there are other people on this earth that do it. So I had to make a video to try to describe why it is that I feel like God is telling me to come forward. And it's crazy because, listen, it's taken me a long time to come to grips to this fact that God just told me, go and put your face out there, Julie. So it started off with some things like drawing. Let's see. One of the first things I drew was this. And it's two birds. It says, birds born in cages think flying is a disease. And what's interesting is the quote says flying is an illness. And I didn't know that I had messed it up. Someone pointed it out later. And so when I first started drawing, what's interesting is that, I didn't realize that channeling was even a thing. And so Maya Angelou, is passed, and you can channel, people. And I had done, when I was a kid, a picture of, what is his name? Jimi Hendrix. And it was a picture of one of the skeleton heads that I had put piercings on and stuff. So basically, my sister had said, what do you know about Jimi Hendrix? And I didn't know Jimi Hendrix was a person. I just put a name to it. So later on in life, I start getting validation that what I'm drawing is from somewhere else. And I start drawing things like this, where there's the media, all of these things. A book of half-truths. History. Media. So yeah. And then over here I see this. And so what's interesting is the more I look at all my art, the more I realize, okay, I should probably make a recording, tell people about this, because I can't just keep it to myself. And if people take me seriously, that would be great, because I've had a hard time understanding that God is really wanting me to do this, because I'm just a human being. I came from nowhere. Like, I'm nobody special to me. So I guess that's what makes me special in God's eyes, is that I'm a nobody. So this thing right here, and I'll post pictures of these, and it says Hollywood versus Hollywood on the inside of the eye right there. And you'll notice that, like, what this is a picture that I drew, and I wanted to channel what it was that was communicating with me. And I felt like there was something that was trying to communicate. So yeah, that was exactly what I did, was draw this. And then there's other things such as writings. Okay, so one of them says, when I start the beat, it's the beginning of time. What I say is a game in the beat of your mind. The syllables rewind back to the beginning of time, back to the poet who rhymed with a beat, sinking steep into the ocean so deep, anchoring the boat to the ocean so deep, the water so silent you can't hear a peep. Back to the foundation so clever and clear, this is the story I write this year. Vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord. Kill 'em with kindness, it'll be rainbows galore. Bring them into the ocean so deep, show them more. Let their God silent their sleep in the morgue. Bring them to heaven at victory's throne. Let them see that ship from a drone. Show them the stairwells in which they should climb, bringing them back to the beginning of time. Show them the steeple and show them the church. Please give the people a nice place to perch. Show them the serious nature of crimes, dating us back to the beginning of times. Show them the righteous in every lit corner. Light their candle, and show them their ways, bringing people in from each way. Let them see the self-righteous scorner, bringing them in, even the foreigner. Bring them in to happiness and better days. Let your will be done on earth in these last days. What I have to say could quite possibly change the course of history today, but I realize my ideas are all outsourced. The ideas and artists around me all tap into the same resource. With the competition so fierce, it's kind of like a mystery. I've got skin so thick, but to them they'll pierce it. It's plain martyry. Oh, I once met a witch at a festival who told me that she wanted my head on hers, then said cheers. That type of drug she was on made me concerned. What kind of witch was she? Was that a curse? My brain feels neglected because of a lack of care. Not for me. Shit, y'all are everywhere. Everywhere I turn my eyes, each corner I see something resting upon your disguise. We all can see. I wonder myself, how could a world be so blind? But then I still question, maybe it's that time. The prophetic visions embedded in my head telling me today that one day I'll be Pope instead. I don't have to sit in my bedroom and cry, weeping pillows of tears that once was dry, wishing so deeply that I was just dead inside, wondering when they'll start seeing what's inside my head. Let's see. Channeled into different sources, unlocking the code to reveal satanic forces. Walking in the clouds, looking at all the horses. Geared up, looking outside the box, ready for pain because your love is unorthodox. Because it's not in my arena. Because not in my arena. Nah. I messed that one up. Geared up, looking outside the box, ready for pain because your love is unorthodox. Because not in my arena. Come on, let's box. Spin a bunch of channels in, I'll come out on top. Geared up, shield up, ready for the war. God told me to come in. Be sure to shut the door. I started writing. I stopped to take a sip. One of my plastic of... here we are again. I started writing and I stopped to take a sip of my plastic bottle. What's left was just a drip. Looking at it like I'm taking an important sip. These last days we can't drink the water that comes out of the hose. How are we supposed to survive this ship? Never mind the faucet leak. They say don't bottle it up. It's illegal to take the rain and bottle it up. So who the fuck can I vent to? I can't just tell one person, they'll get fed up quick too. And if I am lucky, I'll get one post like, that shit got me fed up, dude. But if that's what it is, I don't want to give anyone an attitude. So let me stop for a second and think. And I'm not going to pause in the moment, but set aside time to think. Because if I don't, I might push me to the brink. I can't sit here and act rational when all the evidence in front of me is irrational. To catch a madman, you gotta think and act like a madman. To be a mad hatter, you gotta ram fatter and skip beats like a rat-a-tat-tatter. I can't seem to do anything without my medication making me fatter. How could it get that far without bypassing a law? That's called unconstituted. Our trust in government to save us from ourselves. America is too lazy from the drugs they gave us that blinds us from ourselves. To stop the patterns of abuse before they eat us, but thankfully God already won this battle for us. We don't need to fight the battle. This fight has been fought. And for once, religion, it's been corrupted and polluted, not just once. I sit here with my notepad like I've got something to say no matter what happens. It seems nobody gives a shit what I have to say. It's a luck of the draw if I make it or not. I might need to make some money off this track or not, because sometimes my lyrics come out and they sound like crap a lot. I'd rather the money and make a foundation for second chances, help get out of the trap and whatnot. I still hope that one day I can help someone and put them back on track and whatnot. Been at it for years. I didn't get a serve in Iraq, but I know the plot. I can tell you these words are like bullets right here. I haven't been able to conjure up the energy to say what's been on my mind this year. My PTSD seems severe. There was a time before this that I sat in my room and wrote. Not a lyric came out. It wasn't my doing. It was someone else's plan. Their book. I just wrote the note. There was this presence about me I couldn't ignore. Nope. Because the more I grew to learn about the spirits, the more I could adore the presence, the love, the laughter, and tears. Growing up, coping was talking to the spirits. They're the one who helped me all these years. Talking about it scares you. About that. Scratch that. I'm all about #no fear. My label should be censored, change that, do this, say that. I ain't got time for that. Let's talk about the 10-year. How about physics and gravity? Newton's law of attraction says cut out all that negativity, but what generates my energy is coming from afar, a source so high you couldn't fathom it, even if you did drugs from Jafar. Yeah, and this time he ran out of wishes, so his genie can't save him. I wasn't being able to spit the words out fast enough, so I decided to skip the beat. And I guess that would mean that I could take the speed and double it. I guess the more words I say, I'll split the bill and double it. I can't even make money in my apartment in this state. What's up with it? The greed stops me from owning an estate. I'll go around them and double it. Say something, anything, just not ordinary, something great. I don't want to be basic. I want to be great because my thoughts are elaborate. Make no mistake. I can't explain to you them all, but I'll try to relate. I don't want to take you and put you in my shoes, feed you from my plate because I'd rather clean the slate. You'd probably bend or collapse from the pressure and lack of faith, looking for homies like I ain't got none. Hold on, I'm almost done. Wait. Call up my friend to tell her I made a new record. Scratch that. I ride solo. This type of shit that came from her, I don't believe in YOLO. This just means that there's too many people who think life is a game, because if it weren't for friends, I would have the fame. But I'm quiet and humble. And all I'm trying to do is sort out this bumble. That's just like a small portion of what I've written. So I guess that's like a part of how I know that God is using me, other than the fact that I can write. God has come to me and told me to write, and I wouldn't be writing if it weren't for him, and I wouldn't have printed these and saved these if it weren't for him, and I wouldn't have anything if it weren't for him. Like this, that right there, that little thing is something. Everything adds up in the end, and all these little signs add up, and I would have to sit down and explain every single sign for hours and hours and hours, but really it would just be easier if people who heard this message prayed to God and prayed to Jesus and asked for validation themselves, and then were able to tell me, you know, hey, I prayed about this and I don't think God really wants you to do this, or hey, I prayed about this and, you know, I'm praying for you and I'm supporting you. So yeah, there's a little bit more. I'm gonna try to post this and see if there's anything else that I think about that I should add.